In this video, I'm going to discuss moderation. It's one of the keys I love in life. The only problem I had was with alcohol in my early 20s, and obviously during my teenage years, it was a frickin' circus with my mother. But that's not the point of this conversation. The point of this conversation, or this video, is to go over the secrets to living a long, healthy life, even if you want to take poison, literal poison. Now, you might be like, you can't live a long life and take poison. Actually, you might live a longer life, and I will explain. In the 1700s or before, you remember kings and queens, right? You had the king sitting in their chair. You had the wine taster. Hey, wine taster, come over here. Taste my wine. Yeah. Okay, taste my apples. Okay. Yep, now I'll eat it. So, why was wine tasters tasting food for the kings and queens? Because people would try to poison the kings and queens. So, the kings and queens had a couple tricks up their sleeve, though. And one of them is the trick of moderation. And I'm going to teach you how to do this trick and live a long life. So, the king and queens want to live a very long life. So, they go to this weird witch doctor type person, and the doctor says, I'm going to give you 5 different poisons a day. And the king goes, what are you going to do? And he says, no, no, no. It's for you to live a long, healthy life. And the king goes, well, how does this work? Well, we're going to give you a super, super micro dose of all these known poisons that are growing out in the field. All those flowers and all those common poisons that your people have that they might poison you with, we're going to give you a very, 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 very small dose. And by doing this, you're going to grow up a tolerance in your body. So we're going to do this once a month. We're going to give you a certain dose. We're going to monitor you, and it's going to go up every year or so. We're going to keep going up. And then 6 years later, somebody comes in. He drinks some wine. He thinks it's good. He gives it to the wine taster, and the wine taster drops dead. The guy who gave him the food, he goes, what did you do? And the guy goes, how are you alive? How are you alive? That poison should have killed you. And the king goes, that's for me to know. Execute him. And then the king lives a long, healthy life because he used moderation instead of eating a bunch of fried foods every day. Now, obviously, I'm not taking no poison, but that's a very good example. Now, I have another example for you. Okay, you think water, spinach, and things like that are healthy, right? And you think things like lard and bacon are unhealthy. Most people would make that connection very easily. Well, you can eat bacon and live to 100, and you can eat spinach and die in a day. Now, I'm going to explain. In moderation, let's say you have something like spinach, and you decide you're going to eat 5 cans of spinach a day. Or, sorry, 3 cans for breakfast, 2 for lunch, and 3 for dinner. You're just going to pump yourself up with spinach, just spinach. They say it's healthy, I want all the spinach. So you start doing that. But then your kidneys start hurting. Why? Why would your kidneys hurt? Spinach is extremely high in iron. What is a good thing? Unless you're getting too much iron. Then it's a bad thing. Moderation again. If you eat too much spinach in a small period of time, it can be hurtful. 1 can of spinach, good for you. 100 cans of spinach might be deadly for you. Same thing with water. Let's say that you are drinking 5 glasses of water a day. Okay, let's say you start drinking 5 glasses of water every couple hours to lose weight. Well, that's dangerous. If you're drinking 5 glasses of water every hour because it's a new weight loss trend that actually exists, well, you could flood your system from the inside out and die. Water's not healthy when you're overdoing it. Well, how about the bacon? If you take bacon once a month and you have it for breakfast once a month, are you going to die a short life? No, you'll probably live a long life if that's your worst habit. Eating some fat with a little tiny bit of cholesterol, well, remember, we're talking about a couple strips of bacon, not a tub of lard. We're not talking about a big ham. So it's a little bit of cholesterol. If you ate a lot of bacon, then that's a lot of cholesterol. But we're talking about 2 to 4 strips of bacon on the weekend or once a month when you go out to eat on breakfast or whatever it is. No, you'll probably live a long life. But if you're eating 40 strips of bacon a day, you probably won't live to see your 30s before you have a heart attack. So yes, you can eat unhealthy foods like bacon in moderation and you can live a long life. And you can overdo healthy foods and live a short life. The key to life is moderation with everything. And by knowing the life expectancy and what substances are, like knowing the makeup of spinach, can help you make these decisions. By knowing that spinach has certain vitamins and minerals, you can avoid those vitamins and minerals in other foods. So that way you get a balanced diet. If you already had 3 times the amount of iron you need for the day, probably don't be going looking to eat a can of spinach. You probably had enough iron, enough vitamins, all that. Well, maybe I need some carotene. Let's get some carrots. Or maybe you need some vitamin E or vitamin B, or maybe you want to eat a tomato for the vitamin C, or I mean that's just scurvy, but there's so many diseases you can get if you don't use moderation. Moderation is key. Now there are some staples you can use like oats, rice, and regular meats and stuff like that. But every single food has a different molecular makeup, meaning that the alkaloids in those foods are different, meaning that you can't just live off of 5 different foods and expect to live a long life. You need moderation and you need a balanced diet. Now, luckily, we live in America where food just grows all around us. You can walk into any wood line and you will find vitamins, minerals, edible foods if you don't have any money. We also got food pantries, churches. Yeah, if you work 40, 60 hours, you still might not be able to eat very well, but because we live in America, there are lots of food programs and ways to get food. But the thing is, in America, people want everything to taste good. They want everything to be great. No, it's all about moderation. And that's what I'm trying to teach a lot of these people I'm seeing. People who just want to eat candy and do drugs. Old people who just want to eat whatever and don't have a healthy diet. Moderation. You can eat bacon. You can have a candy bar. Moderation.